Okay, in this video we're going to be talking about something called filter and sort. We're going to sort our records and we're also going to filter our data. So this is the table that we just recently imported data in our last video from the Excel spreadsheet. And so one of the things I want to do here is after I imported, I forgot to do a best fit here. So you can see I can't see all of my emails. So I'm going to click in the top corner to select all of the columns and all of the data. And I'm just going to double click, and it doesn't matter really where you double click between here to do this best fit, but you double click and now you can see that you can see all of your emails. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is currently this data is sorted by the teacher ID, right? But what would be more helpful is if I could sort the data by grade taught. So notice these little drop down arrows next to each field, right? This is where we're going to be working. We're going to go to click on that drop down arrow for grade taught. And I see here that I have the ability to do a sort A to Z, which is basically means sort ascending, right? This is sort Z to A, which is the same as sort descending. So I'm going to pick this sort A to Z, and now I can see that my records are sorted by first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, etc., instead of by the teacher ID. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to learn more about filtering data. So let's say I had these 13 records, right? I see down here I have 13 records because I have my records down here, right? And I know that these are my record selectors, right? So I can go next record, etc. But anyway, I have each of my data here. And what I want to do is I want to filter out so I just see, let's say, third grade records. So I click on this drop down arrow and I come over here to select all and uncheck select all, which means that no records would be selected currently. And then I pick third grade, which means I just want to see third grade. I click OK, and my data is now filtered to only show third grade. Notice you have a little filter up here. You also have a filter down here, so it's making it pretty, pretty clear that there's a filter applied to your data. Okay, so if you no longer want the filter, we want to clear that filter. If you want to clear the filter, you could click here. That would remove the filter from our records. Okay. But you could also just come back here, say clear filter from grade taught, and then all of our records are come back. Okay, so there's other kinds of filters you can do. Let's take a look at our salary. What if we wanted to see anybody who is making less than $40,000 a year? Okay, less than or equal to $40,000 a year. Well, you might say, well, we could come in here and click everything that's less than $40,000 a year. But the reason this method doesn't work so well is because, remember, salaries can change. So if the salaries change, then what you have clicked here isn't going to be effective anymore. So instead what we need to do is do a number filter. By doing a number filter, okay, we can go down to less than, and you see that it comes up with less than or equal to. And we're going to type in 40,000. So regardless of whether any of these salaries change, if they are under 40,000, we would still see them, okay, under or equal to 40,000. So you want to make sure you type in 40, not 4,000. Or whatever the number is that you're going with, and you click OK. So remember, we have 13 records. So watch when I hit OK, I now have 11 because 11 records match that criteria of under 40,000. Okay, so we have this filter applied. Now we're going to apply a filter to another column. What that's going to do is further filter our data. Okay, so that filter is going to be applied to the already filtered data. If that makes sense. We're going to come over here to home phone number. Now, we want to find anybody who has a similar area code that we live in. So let's pretend we live in the 462 area code. Now, I again could uncheck these and just show 462, and that would work for this data, but it doesn't work for the future. So you always want to be thinking about what would always work, not just what would work now. So if we go over here, we see that there are text filters that we can apply. Equals and does not equal doesn't pertain here because that we have to enter the whole phone number, right? But notice here that we have this option of contains, okay? Begins with actually would work in this case too, because we could do begins with 462, right? It's probably what we should do because that would ensure that we would find only records that have an area code of 462, whereas contains, which is what I am going to show you because that's what the book I think has you do later on, contains, we're going to type in here 462. If we had 462 anywhere else in this number, other than the area code, it would also show, right? So we're going to hit OK. But in this case, that's not true. We only have 462 in the area code. All right, so we have our 462, and it was further applied to anybody who had a salary of under 40,000. So we actually have two filters, right, applied here, and we're down to 7 records. All right, so if we save this and we close, what we wonder is what happens to our filter? What happens to our sort? So we closed out of the table. We reopen the table, right, by double clicking on the table. We see that our 13 records are there. Our data is still sorted though. Our filters are not there. Okay. Question is, does it still hold on to our filter? And the answer is yes. Click on the Home tab. Okay. You'll notice you have this whole sort and filter area here. And one of these options is toggle filter. So if you click on toggle filter, what it will do is reapply the filter. So the filter is actually saved in the background. It's just that when you close out and come back in, it shows all of your data instead of the filtered data. Okay. So there are more advanced type filters that you can do. I'll have to look and see if this is something that you need to know for your homework assignment. And if it is, then I'll come in and actually show it to you. But there's advanced filter by forms, and then there's selection filters that you can do based on certain criteria here. So for example, let's say I wanted to see, kind of going rogue here. Let's clear my filters. So let's go to advanced. I'm going to clear all filters. This is kind of nice where you can do clear all filters instead of clearing individual filters, right? So I can do clear all filters. And let's say the scenario there where I came up here and I picked text filter, right? And I did equals. You could also do a selection filter in that case. So if I selected 5th grade, I could come up here and you notice that it says selection equals 5th. Right? And so that would also sort my data based on the 5th grade. So just another way to do the same thing. See it? All right. All right. That's it for, there are filter by forms, but don't think you need to know that for this chapter. It might be something in a more advanced chapter. For now, all you need to know is what I taught you in that video. So see you in the next one.